So I'm one of India's few pro MMA referees. हमारा पहला काम है एज अ रेफरी इज टू प्रोटेक्ट दैट फाइटर. अगर इतना ब्रूटल बेयर नकल्स उस टाइप में अगर गए तो अगर एक बिजनेस एंगल से देखोगे तो यार ये ब्रॉडकास्ट ही नहीं होगा. फाइटर्स अगर अपना जाके खून बहाएंगे, राइट, दे फाइट और देखने वाले नहीं रहेंगे तो हु इज गोइंग टू पे देम? फाइटर लड़ो या मरो वैसा टाइप्स के होते हैं. आई डोंट फियर समबडी हु ट्रेन्स 10,000 टेक्निक्स, बट आई फियर दैट पर्सन हु ट्रेन्स one technique 10,000 times. Kids, women, working men, adults, MMA for fitness. You don't have to be an MMA fighter. MMA for fitness. It's a great thing. You learn self-defense. It's wonderful. Try the sport.
Thank you for coming all the way down here, Andrew sir.
Thank you so much, Dheeraj, for having me.
Yeah. So how do we start this? Should we start it from my understanding of MMA? So from what I know, all my knowledge of MMA is purely theoretical. What I understand from MMA, कि उसका definition, MMA stands for mixed martial arts. Basically a combination of all of these disciplines. We can say jiu-jitsu हो गया, karate हो गया, Muay Thai हो गया, all of these disciplines combined into an hybrid sports. That's MMA for me. But you are someone who has been there and who has been on the ground, who has seen all of these things from his eyes. So I want to know your definition of MMA.
So basic फंडा तो तुम्हारा सही है. Yes, MMA is a mixture of a bunch of martial arts. हमेशा से हमारे तो स्कूल टाइम से ही चल रहा है कि तू अच्छा है कि मैं अच्छा हूँ टाइप्स, राइट. दिस आइडियोलॉजी इज ऑलवेज बीन ह्यूमंस इन नेचर हैव बीन वेरी कम्पिटिटिव. सो जहाँ तक बॉक्सर होता था, बॉक्सर बोलता था कि मैं अच्छा हूँ, किक बॉक्सर बोलेगा मैं अच्छा हूँ, रेसलर बोलेगा नहीं तुम दोनों से अच्छा मैं. सो this was the perspective where people finally decided that let's come and see, level the playing field और देखते भाई कौन सबसे अच्छा है. So that's where, so if you see the initial days, so UFC is one of the oldest brand and currently the biggest brand in MMA. If you see the initial like UFC 1, 2, the starting, the beginning days, you'll see boxers coming in with one glove. Yeah. And you'll see sumo wrestlers, okay, people, some guys fighting in a gi. That was Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys.
So was it like WWE, they are coming with different gears on?
Not really. See, everybody was representing their own sport. So a boxer came in with a boxing glove to fight. A kickboxer came in his uniform to fight. Right? A sumo guy came in to fight in his uniform. And just like that, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu person who came in a kimono, right? So from there, the sport evolved and kept evolving. Where currently you can put MMA into a culmination of 3 primary martial arts. So that would be Muay Thai, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and wrestling, Indian apna kushti. So I'll just give a quick brief to all these three martial arts.
Sure, that would be great.
So Muay Thai is where you can punch, kick, and you can use elbows and knees, right? And you can clinch. Clinch is basically you can hold somebody by the neck. Okay. So that's Muay Thai. So that's primarily striking. So you stand up and you can strike. Okay. Then comes wrestling. Wrestling is, all of us know, your viewers probably also know this, right? Wrestling is where somebody takes down. So you start standing, you take down your opponent, and fight या तो फिर वहाँ पे खत्म होता है wrestling में, या point system चलता है. अब ground पे जाने के बाद वहाँ पे शुरू होता है Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So jiu-jitsu ऐसा sport है कि एक बार ground पे जाने के बाद वहाँ पे गेम शुरू होता है, in the sense there is locks, there is chokes, so it's basically joint manipulation. Okay, so body में जितने भी joints है, ठीक है, सबको manipulate करना to get your opponent to say I give up.
Okay,
I give up in the form of tapping
out. Yeah.
So you can obviously tap by hand, verbally, or you go to sleep or you break a bone. Okay, like we like to put it tap, nap, snap. So tap,
Nap is where you pass
go to
out.
sleep, okay, and snap is you break, right? So tap, nap, snap. And that's where jiu-jitsu is, right? So now when you put all of these three sports together, that forms primarily MMA.
You were in Bali for CFN and you were in Thailand for TFC. That's why we had to reschedule again and again. So how was your experience over there?
So I see someone is following me on Instagram. Huh? I've got a stalker. But anyway, thank you for following my journey. So I'm one of India's few pro MMA referees, and that's what I was in Indonesia and Thailand for. So CFN is basically Canggu Fight Night. So that's a promotion from Indonesia. These guys are like growing real quick. I think this was their this was their 33rd event, if that's 33rd is a word. But 33 events, yeah. So CFN 33, and in Thailand it was TFC, Thailand Fighting Championship. A bunch of guys from India too represented. Even in CFN, there are a bunch of Indians representing over there. So yeah, these are pro MMA fights, and I was invited over there to officiate and help the MMA official team do their thing, referee and judging, and the other duties that are there around the cage. So yeah, I was there to help out and in a little manner represent India.
You mentioned Muay Thai, right? So Thailand is where it was born, or like it is where it is originated?
So Muay Thai is Thailand's national sport, if you'd like to say it. Muay Thai over there, like over here, you'll see in India, you'll have kids playing cricket at the age of whatever.
Yeah.
The moment
From
they
a
can,
very young age
the
they
moment they
start
can walk, right? Over there, people start training Muay Thai. So you'll have small kids wearing gloves, going to the gym, and kicking bags, kicking pads, punching. So like there is no match to that kind of a growth for kids, because the moment they're like, by the time they're teens, they've already had experience of some of our adult amateur fighters here. Like if you see some of the trainers in Thailand, whenever we go down to train and stuff, just guys who are in the regular gyms, we ask them like, like how many fights you had, and people are throwing numbers like 500,
Oh man, that's
600. I've had like 850 fights. Like, how do you even put that?
That's crazy. That's more than a year of fights.
Exactly.
Every day,
right?
if you're fighting, that's more than that.
Yeah, and I'm talking about people in the age range of maybe 22 to 28. Trainers of that age are giving numbers like this. And so it's crazy. So it just goes to show, because they've started at such a young age, they've racked up the numbers in their number of fights, and they've represented either their country abroad, or they've done it in their homeland, just fighting in Thailand at so many boxing stadiums over here, like how we have the way we have gyms over here. And when I'm talking about gyms, I mean like bodybuilding gyms, like wherever you go, हर गली नुक्कड़ में तुमको जिम
There's
मिलेगा.
a gym, yes.
वहां पे हर गली नुक्कड़ में तुमको मुay thai जिम मिलेगा.
Okay.
तो वहां पे वो लोग जब जिम बोलते हैं,
So
it
it's
means
boxing.
मुay thai gym.
Yeah, okay.
It means a boxing gym.
Okay.
हर जिम के अंदर एक रिंग रहेगा, और हर फ्राइडे नाइट, सैटरडे नाइट, संडे नाइट देयर विल बी फाइट्स हैपनिंग देयर. So this is something that is in their culture.
So next time if I'm in Thailand and I'm messing around with a kid, I know this and I'm not gonna do it.
I will suggest you stay away from them. Dheeraj, don't mess with kids.
MMA is one of the most brutal sports on the planet, right? So how does it feel to be a referee to that sport?
So brutal sport, I'd go out on a foot and say ब्रूटैलिटी जो है ना, वो पर्सपेक्टिव की बात है. ठीक है, लाइक ब्रूटल स्पोर्ट तो रग्बी है. लाइक आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट अमेरिकन फुटबॉल, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट रग्बी. ओके, दैट्स अ ब्रूटल स्पोर्ट. लाइक 100 किलो के बंदे एक दूसरे के तरफ भागते हुए और रुकते नहीं है. They just slam into each other. Now that's brutal. Okay. Please forgive me, all rugby fans. But yeah, in my humble opinion, I feel rugby is brutal. Now coming to the MMA aspect, right? MMA looks brutal because obviously there is so many ways to attack your opponent and stuff. But अगर statistics देखा जाए, right? Statistically, MMA का इंजरी रेट जो है, राइट, ओवर द इयर्स, अगर इसको पूरा लाइक सबका अगर नज़र में रखते हुए, राइट, ऑल द फाइटर्स का नज़र में रखते हुए देखा जाएगा तो MMA का इंजरी रेट बहुत कम है.
Okay.
सो आई एक्सप्लेन. तुम रग्बी देखो, तुम बॉक्सिंग देखो, एनी अदर स्पोर्ट, राइट, वेयर दे हैव बिग पैडेड ग्लव्स सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग, उसमें ना जब पंच पड़ता है तो तुम एक पंच में नॉकआउट नहीं होगे. बॉक्सिंग में कुछ नहीं तो दोनों आदमी 100-150 पंच खा लेते हैं 15 राउंड में, या उससे ज्यादा, इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन, 100% उससे ज्यादा. ठीक है, स्पेशली इफ यू आर फाइटिंग लाइक अ गाय लाइक मैनी पाकियाओ, राइट, दैट गाय इज लाइक 6-8 कॉम्बिनेशन ही फेंकता है हर उसके एक्सप्लोजन में. बट सो पॉइंट बीइंग, इतने सारे पंचेस, इट एड्स अप. इट एड्स अप इन द सेंस, इसको कंकशन बोलते हैं. ठीक है, कंटिन्यूस पंचिंग द हेड, तो तुम्हारा जो डैमेज है वो कंपाउंड होता है मैच पर मैच. सो पीपल आर एक्चुअली अफेक्टेड ऑन अ वेरी ग्रेटर स्केल आफ्टर अ फ्यू इयर्स. Okay, from dementia to schizophrenia to everything else, like memory loss, and there are movies made on this, there are proper documentaries made on this, if somebody would like to understand the injury aspect of these sports. तो इसमें कंपाउंडिंग डैमेज होता है. अब स्विच टू MMA में क्या होता है, एक तो 4 आउंस के ग्लव्स है. 4 आउंस मतलब क्या ही है. सो दोज ग्लव्स आर सच दैट जब किसी को मार पड़ती है ना, वो गिरेगा. Okay, if you're hit properly, you'll get knocked out. Correct? Now that one punch versus those 200 punches is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Fight यहाँ पे खत्म हो जाता है, यहाँ पे fight खत्म नहीं हो रहा है. Okay, yes, you do get knocked out in boxing also, but वही बात है कि it's a compounding effect of punches. It's a build up of punches and damage. तो MMA ब्रूटल वर्ड जो है, और ये ब्रूटैलिटी जो आता है ना,
That's perspective.
it is because of the superficial damage. What do I mean by superficial damage? क्योंकि ग्लव्स इतना छोटा है, एल्बोज अलाउड है, नीज अलाउड है. यार एल्बो कभी खाया है तूने?
नहीं, खाना भी नहीं है.
कभी खा के देख लेना. राइट, तो एल्बो से कट्स हो जाते हैं, राइट, यहाँ पे कट हो जाएगा, नोज पे कट होएगा. तो उसके वजह से जो बाहर से जो ब्लड दिखता है ना, वो आ गया तुम्हारा ब्रूटैलिटी. कि अरे यार ये कट गया, वो कट गया, यहाँ पे कट हो गए, यहाँ पे कट हो गया. तो जो खून दिखता है ना, उसके वजह से द स्पोर्ट लुक्स ब्रूटल. बट अगेन इट इज पर्सपेक्टिव टू पर्सपेक्टिव, क्योंकि जब आप यहाँ पे देखो कि ठीक है खून ज्यादा बह रहा है, बट ये फिक्स होके इट इज अ सुपरफिशियल डैमेज.
That can be healed faster.
एंड ऑल्सो वो जो ट्रॉमा होता है, जो सर पे, जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, जो कंकशंस बिल्डअप होता है इन एनी अदर स्पोर्ट, राइट, वेयर देयर इज हाई इम्पैक्ट. अगेन गोइंग बैक टू रग्बी, गोइंग बैक टू अमेरिकन फुटबॉल, इवन दो देयर इज सो मच पैडिंग इन अमेरिकन फुटबॉल, स्टिल देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ इम्पैक्ट. जब वो लोग यार हेड टू हेड मारते, वो लोग, यू नो, when they collide, and boxing, ये सारे स्पोर्ट्स में. सो इट्स अ compounding effect of damage.
While I was researching for this, right, so when I knew you are coming, right, so I was watching a lot of other podcasts. So I went through Joe Rogan's podcast. So right now we were talking about padding, right? When boxers are punching, right? When UFC fighters are punching, they have a padding around their hands. So what he says that these things are not made for punching, and these things are made for grappling, basically, or gripping things out. What he says is, in a fight, if you see, rather than other than your hands, no part of your body has padding on it, maybe your knees or maybe your elbows. So I wanted to know your take on it, because he says that when a fighter has gloves on his hands, they have a false sense of confidence. So what's your take on that?
So the gloves, the hand wrapping, all of that is to actually protect yourself firstly. क्योंकि जो wrist है अपना, okay, I don't know the exact numbers, but there are too many small bones in this area, right? I mean, I'll actually have to Google the number, but मोटा मोटी एक इतना समझ लो कि यहाँ पे बहुत सारे छोटे छोटे बोन्स है. ओके, सो when a fighter wraps his hand, okay, तो ग्लव्स के नीचे होता है रैपिंग. तो यू रैप योर हैंड और फिर उसके ऊपर ग्लव पहनते हैं. तो दैट इज, देयर आर 2-4 एस्पेक्ट है. एक तो अपना हाथ, अपना रिस्ट का खुद का प्रोटेक्शन, ठीक है, ये पहली बात. दूसरी बात जो है, अगर इतना ब्रूटल बेयर नकल्स उस टाइप में अगर गए, तो अगर एक बिजनेस एंगल से देखोगे तो यार ये ब्रॉडकास्ट ही नहीं होगा. आपको जाके डार्कनेट पे देखना पड़ेगा. यू नो व्हाट आई मीन?
टूट जाएगा व्हेन यू आर पंचिंग.
नहीं, वैसा नहीं, ब्रॉडकास्टिंग पर्सपेक्टिव से.
ओके.
अगर इतना ब्रूटल स्पोर्ट अगर इस तरीके से दिखाएंगे, एक तो पहले लाइक अगेन इफ यू गो बैक टू द यूएफसी's हिस्ट्री, यूएफसी वाज नियरली गोइंग बैंकरप्ट बिकॉज जो जनरल टीवी है, जो अपने घरेलू वाला टीवी है, दे डिडंट वांट टू ब्रॉडकास्ट यूएफसी. वो लोग उनको टीवी पे लाना ही नहीं था यूएफसी को, ये बोलते हुए कि ये इतना ब्रूटल है, इतना ब्लड है इसमें, it's human, it's modern day human gladiators fighting, it's cock fighting. तो ये सब चीजों को जब लेबल किया जाता है ना, सो उसको ब्रॉडकास्टिंग में नहीं डाल सकते. ज्यादा खून खराबा ये वो उन लोग ब्रॉडकास्ट नहीं कर सकते. नाउ तो ये सब को नजर में रखते हुए ना, यूएफसी इवॉल्व्ड. UFC started off bare knuckle. Just for you and your viewers knowledge, UFC started off bare knuckle. Then it evolved. अभी इवॉल्व होते होते they've come to, क्योंकि ये सारे भी मीटिंग्स हुए ना कि ब्रॉडकास्टिंग वालों के साथ बैठो, टीवी वालों के साथ बैठो, भाई स्टेट्स हेड्स के साथ बैठो, बैठ के बोलो यार तुम लोग को क्या चाहिए.
At the end of the day you have to sell it to people.
You have to sell it, right? Fighters अगर अपना जाके खून बहाएंगे, right, they fight, और देखने वाले नहीं रहेंगे, तो who's going to pay them? Every promotion is making money from who? From the audience. अगर बिकेगा नहीं, वो सीट नहीं बिकेगा, वो टिकट नहीं बिकेगा, वो पेपर व्यू नहीं बिकेगा, तो फिर फाइटर को पैसा नहीं मिलेगा, प्रमोशन को पैसा नहीं मिलेगा, सब टाटा बाय बाय बोल के दुकान बंद.
So next thing that I wanted to ask you is कि whenever if I want to go and do a job, right, I'll have to go through an interview, I'll have to write down an exam, maybe I'll have to get down a degree, right? So whenever there's a match, so how are referees selected for it? Do you have to write an exam? Is there someone who's going to take an interview for that? What's the process behind it?
That's a nice question, Dheeraj. So फर्स्टली आई थिंक रेफरी सब लोग कर सकते हैं, राइट? ऐसा नहीं है कि यू हैव टू ओनली बी एन MMA फाइटर टू बिकम अ रेफरी. बहुत सारे कोर्सेज हैं, राइट? देयर आर कोर्सेज दैट आर पीपल आर डूइंग प्राइवेटली ऑनलाइन. कभी अगर मौका मिलेगा और मैं और भी बड़ा रेफरी बना तो मैं अपना खुद का कोर्स खोलूँगा.
Surely you'll do that.
But coming back to your question, so you have to have a knowledge of the sport. इंडिया में बहुत सारे बॉडीज़ है. देर आर लॉट ऑफ MMA, amateur MMA बॉडीज़ जो ऐसा प्रोग्राम्स रखते हैं. सो कुछ बॉडीज़ रेफरी ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स रखते हैं जहाँ पे तुम आओ, you get involved, understand what's the sport like. So it's MMA referee and judges seminars basically. That's what it's called. तो काफ़ी सारे बॉडीज़ हैं इंडिया में दैट होस्ट दीज रेफरी सेमिनार्स. तो यहाँ पे आके आपको समझना होगा, पढ़ना होगा, अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट MMA इज, अंडरस्टैंड द रूल सेट, क्योंकि एमेच्योर रूल सेट अलग है, अंडर 18 रूल सेट अलग है, प्रो रूल सेट अलग है, एंड वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द सेम स्पोर्ट MMA. तो ये सब चीज़ें कोई भी एरा गैरा उठ के नहीं कर सकता है, ठीक है? तो बिकॉज अगर कोई भी आके उठ के करेगा ये चीज़, सो एक ही चीज़ होता है उसमें, the fighter gets robbed.
Okay.
In the sense कि अगर कोई भी फाइटर आके फाइट कर रहा है एंड गलत डिसीजंस दिया जाए, गलत स्टॉपेजेस हो, यू नो, दैट फाइटर इज लूजिंग आउट ऑन हिज रिकॉर्ड.
Yes.
वो जैसा आपने रेज्यूमे रेफरी की बात किया, वैसे वो जो फाइट रिकॉर्ड होता है वो एक फाइटर का रेज्यूमे है. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर, फर्स्टली यू हैव टू हैव सम सॉर्ट ऑफ टच पॉइंट विद द स्पोर्ट. चाहे आप उसका फैन हो, चाहे यू आर वॉचिंग, यू आर फॉलोइंग इट एंड यू एस्पायर कि हाँ यार, यू नो व्हाट, आई वांट टू वॉक इन दिस लाइन. सो यू हैव टू गेट अफिलिएटेड टू सम सैंक्शनिंग बॉडी इन इंडिया. ठीक है, सैंक्शनिंग बॉडीज काफ़ी है. यू गेट कनेक्टेड टू सम ऑफ दी सैंक्शनिंग बॉडीज. ये सैंक्शनिंग बॉडीज एमेच्योर इवेंट्स होल्ड करते हैं, नेशनल्स होल्ड करते हैं. तो यहाँ पे वो लोग रेफरीज को, जजेस को अपॉर्चुनिटी देते हैं कि यू कम एंड यू ऑफिशिएट. तो दिस इज द ग्रास रूट लेवल. इस लेवल पे आपको ऑफिशिएटिंग करना है. एंड देन ऑब्वियसली व्हेन यू आर गुड, यू गेट प्रमोटेड, यू स्टार्ट गेटिंग, you know, promoted in those ranks. So that's how the journey starts. My journey began way when I was probably 21 years old. So my coach, Mr. Chitendra Khare, he trusted me for the first time to get in the ring and ref, you know, one of India's initial, it's safe to say one of India's initial promotions. It was Yoddha Fighting Championship.
Oh, yeah,
YFC करके था. Okay, so that was their promotion, and वहाँ पे मैंने अपना पहला I think fight ref किया था उस टाइम पे, और जज किया था. and वहाँ से मेरी जर्नी शुरू हुई, and then it just kept racking, you know, fight after fight, and एक ऐसा टाइम आया कि I started getting pretty good at it, and obviously study भी करना पड़ता है. You have to understand the rule set, क्योंकि अलग अलग rule set होता है, right? किसी promotion का अपना twist रहेगा. जैसे अभी जहाँ पे मैं Thailand Fighting Championship में गया, तो Thailand Fighting Championship में वहाँ पे ring में fight हुआ, MMA fights. तो वहाँ पे अगर ring के बाहर जा रहे हो तो stop recenter होता है. General MMA fight में नहीं होता है. So that is something जो कि एक twist है. So for a general person to get into the sport, I think the best route would be to sign up with an association, a national association in India. You know, go over there, get certified, do the referee course, start officiating उनके nationals में, उनके amateur events में, and then if you are good at it, obviously that body itself will start promoting you, giving you more opportunities, calling you more often, like, you know, event है भाई आजा, event है आ जाओ, you know, and that's where you start growing.
Okay.
और वहाँ से आपका journey probably start हो सकता है as a MMA referee or judge.
Yes. So would you like to name any of these bodies, where in particular trusted bodies, if you know any of those, if you want to name them?
Sure. So some of the leading bodies, so I'll start internationally, right? Internationally there are two bodies, right, which is GAMA, and the other body is IMMAF. Okay, so these two bodies are like the primary international bodies that are currently trying to, you know, promote amateur MMA on the global scale, right? They have bodies in India. So GAMA has two bodies in India. One is FMMAI and the other body is AIMMAF. That also sounds IMAF, but it is AIMMAF. And IMAF, the international body, has another body called MMA India.
Okay.
Right? So these are the three, I'd say, considerably big bodies, right? So that's FMMAI, AIMMAF, and MMA India. So these are the three bodies that are currently sanctioning, you know, fights, amateur fights, and promoting fights, and doing nationals in India over the entire year. You know, they have two nationals. Mostly all the bodies have two nationals. So these are the three bodies that someone can get affiliated to, depending on wherever you are, whatever gym you are from, and get their journey started.
When you are inside the ring, where do you decide कि this is the moment मुझे match को रोकना है? कि is there a difference between an amateur fighter and a professional fighter? So firstly, you can tell कि what is an amateur fighter and what is a professional fighter, and how do you draw a line between these two guys?
So an amateur fighter is the basic let's say variable that you can put in this equation is time, right? The amount of time you spend in a cage, which is basically fights. So an amateur is someone who is just starting off their career in MMA, right? A few fights in, maybe 15-20 fights, depends on उनका level क्या है. So as an amateur you have to obviously start somewhere. Amateur MMA का rule set अलग है. You wear puffy gloves, bigger gloves, shin guards, usually elbows allowed नहीं होते हैं, knees to the head allowed नहीं होता है amateur MMA में. Certain jujutsu के जो locks है, जो leg locks है, heel hooks वगैरह, that is not allowed in amateur MMA. So amateur MMA is a rule set that is designed to protect the fighter to a much greater extent. हमारा पहला काम है as a referee is to protect that fighter even if he wants to continue fighting. Right?
There might be cases कि the fighter wants to continue but you have to step
There's
in and
always a case.
Okay.
There is always that case. Fighter लड़ो या मरो वैसा टाइप्स के होते हैं. Even at that amateur level, all fighters are that way. भाई लड़ो या मरो. But it's our job as officials, as referees, to see that fighter fights healthy
Needs to be
another day.
Yep.
Right? So we need to know where we have to draw that line, as you rightly said, and that line is drawn a little quicker for amateur MMA. Now, an amateur fighter is someone who builds up their fights, and then after a certain number of fights, after consulting their coaches, their team, then can transition into pro. So there is no fixed rule that I'd say कि हाँ 15 फाइट के बाद प्रो जाना है, 20 फाइट के बाद प्रो जाना है. इट इज़ अ म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि भाई सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन भी है कि भाई मैं कितने पानी में हूँ, मुझे कितने स्किल्स मेरे कितने डेवलप्ड है, कैन आई गो प्रो, कैन आई फाइट एंड पुट माई प्रो रिकॉर्ड ऑन द लाइन. क्योंकि एमेच्योर रिकॉर्ड इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ MMA इज गुड बट इट डज not dictate your pro fights.
That is completely different.
Complete different. They are two different resumes. So amateur में तुम्हारे पास 10 लॉस हो, 20 लॉस हो, चलेगा. बट प्रो में बहुत मायने पड़ता है, बहुत मायने करता है. क्योंकि वही रेज्यूमे में जैसे हमारा परसेंटेज होता है कि अच्छा 85 में ये कॉलेज कट ऑफ, 75 में ये कॉलेज कट ऑफ, यू नो, जिस तरीके से वैसा होता है, वैसा बड़े प्रमोशंस में उनका भी यही सिस्टम है कि you need to have 6 wins as a pro, you need to have 0 losses as a pro. अलग अलग प्रमोशन के अलग अलग एंट्री पॉइंट्स, यू नो. सो वो प्रो रेज्यूमे जो है आपका अच्छा होना चाहिए. एंड दैट्स व्हाई अ गुड कोच will not let their fighter jump into the pro section very quick
unless he thinks he's ready.
Unless he thinks he's ready, right? And that's where you need to have a good coach, a good MMA gym. उनका ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड अच्छा होना चाहिए. एंड एक भरोसा होता है कि जब मेरा कोच बोलेगा आई एम गुड टू गो प्रो, देन आई नो आई एम गुड टू गो प्रो, राइट? क्योंकि उस टाइम पे वो रेज्यूमे आपका प्रो रेज्यूमे वो मायने रखता है. व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट प्रो फाइटर्स, नाउ फ्रॉम आवर पर्सपेक्टिव, प्रो फाइटर्स के लिए जहाँ पे जो मैंने बोला कि दैट लाइन इज ड्रॉन अर्लियर, प्रो फाइटर में वो लाइन थोड़ा आगे हो जाता है. वी अलाउ इन प्रो फाइट्स वो डैमेज लेवल, डैमेज या इम्पैक्ट बोलो, वो लेवल थोड़ा ज़्यादा होता है प्रो में. फ्लैश नॉकआउट पे उसको वो फाइट को तुरंत शायद रोके ना, यू नो. द रेफरी गिव्स एक लीनियंसी देता है फाइटर को. देयर इज अ लिटिल हायर लेवल ऑफ लीनियंसी. और प्रो में देयर इज नो शिन गार्ड्स, एल्बोज, नीज टू द हेड अलाउड होता है. ग्लव्स जैसे मैंने बोला, ग्लव्स इट बिकम्स 4 ounce ग्लव्स. एमेच्योर में 6 to 8 ounce ग्लव्स होते हैं. So that is the difference between a pro fighter. और हमारे पर्सपेक्टिव से it's the matter of leniency कि pro fighter को थोड़ा ज़्यादा leniency मिलता है to continue their fight. Amateur में वो leniency थोड़ी कम होती है क्योंकि हम सब चाहते हैं as referees, as officials, MMA officials कि amateur करियर में बंदे का, एक फाइटर का करियर ख़त्म ना हो जाए, you know, just because of damage. So that's the primary difference between pro and amateur.
while I was watching the matches now, for the time when I was researching about it, so I wanted to know the term. There's a term called as disqualification. वो तो pretty much self-explanatory कि disqualify हो गया. But there's something called as no contest also. So can you like shed some light on what is a disqualification and what is a no contest?
Sure. So a disqualification. So that obviously there's a rule set. In a disqualification, if you intentionally foul, I'll give you an example. Like spiking on the head is not allowed. Spiking is dropping someone, whether it is after lifting that person or in a submission picking someone up. You can't drop them directly on the head, on the top of the head. Okay, you can't drop them. That's called spiking. Now, intentionally, if you do that and that person can't continue, it's a DQ. Disqualification.
Yep.
A no contest is something that happens. There are multiple variables in the no contest equation. ठीक है? Lights चले गए, वहाँ पे fight no contest हो सकता है.
Okay, like that.
For some reason, like you know, unintentional foul हुआ कि fighter आया, they were punching, headbutt हो गया, दोनों गिर गए. Okay, and it is in the first half. So जो fight होता है, fight का एक half mark होता है. एक टाइम अगर 9 मिनट है तो 4.5 मिनट इज द हाफ मार्क. तो दैट वे द हाफ मार्क ऑफ द फाइट के पहले हुआ है तो दैट टाइम इट कैन गो इनटू अ नो कॉन्टेस्ट. सो दिस इज द एस्पेक्ट ऑफ अ नो कॉन्टेस्ट एंड अ डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन. डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन इज सिंपली तुमने रूल्स इंटेंशनली ब्रेक किया. एनीथिंग ऑन दोज लाइंस यू कैन बी डीक्यूड.
I was going through an article, right? I was reading it had some illegal moves in it. So I'll just quickly name them and then you can just like add upon them. Okay. So the first one is pretty much self-explanatory. Headbutting, maar hai, sir se maar hai,
Yes.
not allowed. You are basically disqualified for it. The second one is eye gouging. Would you like to?
So it's eye gouging.
Yeah, eye gouging.
Eye
Okay.
gouging is basically poking the eyes.
Okay.
You intentionally can't put your fingers into the eyes, can't poke the eyes. That's eye gouging.
Okay. The third one is fish hooking.
Fish hooking is like, you know, in any situation, like there are multiple situations, you can't put your finger and hook the cheek. You know, you can't put your finger inside and hook. From the front, you can't put your thumb in and fish hook. The idea is just like fish
Like a hook, you're hooking
Yeah.
it out.
That's illegal.
Fourth one is pretty much self-explanatory, biting or spitting. So
Yeah,
that
you
is not
can't.
allowed.
You can't.
Mike
bite,
Tyson, I think,
can't
used to bite,
spit.
right?
that is one of the. I mean, it happened in boxing. Probably the first time somebody bit off Mike Tyson, bit off. I think it was Holyfield. His ear off. Yeah, that was crazy. Even in MMA recently, there was a biting incident where for some reason this guy just bit the guy's tricep. Okay. And the fighter started screaming and trying to get the attention of the referee and say, like, you know, hey, this guy's bit me. He's
That's
bit me.
ridiculous. That's
And yeah, the guy was DQ'd. And the cool thing about it is he went and got a tattoo done. He literally got the tooth, like, you know, the teeth imprint. He got it tattooed on his on his tricep. So that was something cool that happened. An illegal move. Yeah, for life.
So one is pile drivers.
Okay, pile driver is Undertaker, yaar.
That's a WWE move.
Yeah, but pile driving is something similar to spiking, right? It's where the legs are in the air, head is down, and you're dropping somebody entire body weight on the head. That's an illegal move. It's a direct DQ. Amateur में हो, pro में हो, कहीं पे भी हो, you can't drop someone directly on the head.
Then it's strike to the spine or the back, direct strikes on the spine or the back.
Yeah. So punches that don't like the top of the head is allowed, right? The front of the face is allowed. Behind the head is obviously back of the head, and right going down to the spine, the spine and the kidneys. So these are your illegal areas where you can't punch directly. So even if somebody's on the ground and covered up in turtle position, you can't strike the kidney area. You can't strike the spine directly, and the back of the head obviously.
And then kicks to the head, that basically is illegal. But when a person is standing,
No, kicks
can you
to the head is not illegal.
Okay.
Kicks to the head is legal. Yeah.
But
so
when
you can-
someone is down, you can't kick it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's something called a grounded opponent. So a grounded opponent is someone who has more than 2 points touching the ground. The rules have recently changed in the UFC, and people are following the same rule set all around the world. People used to play this rule, right? For earlier, it was just 2 points on the ground, and if somebody touched the hands on the ground, right, that's a grounded opponent. So people would try and keep their hands on the ground and walk forward, right, just to prevent being kneed in the head and stuff like that. They would play the rules. So now it is your hands are not counted. So it has to be your feet or a knee. Then I'm grounded. You're on your ground on your back. I'm grounded.
When it comes to the point where a match is ending, so when there is a submission, हमें पता होता है कि the guy who has tapped out is out. When there's a knockout, हमें पता होता है जिसने knockout किया है, who is the winner. But there's a term called as technical knockouts. So can you please explain me what that is?
TKO. That's the famous word, right? So yeah, fighter wins by TKO. TKO is obviously, as you rightly said, technical knockout. Now, technical knockout क्या है is primarily when a fighter can't intelligently defend himself. Now, this is a book term, right?
Okay.
Intelligently defend himself. वो क्या होता है? To the common fighter, to anybody, to your regular viewer, right? What is intelligently defending yourself? When a fighter, like it usually happens on the ground or against the cage, right? When a fighter is sort of या तो फिर उसको लग गया है, वो थोड़ा rock हुआ है, and he covers up and he goes up against the cage or on the ground, and the other fighter is starting to throw, punches in bunches. अभी ground and pound चालू कर रहा है, and combinations फेंक रहा है. So at that point of time, अगर वो fighter is not fighting back, वो intelligently defend नहीं कर रहा है, बस अपने आप को cover करके बैठा है, right? The ref's job is to warn that fighter, whether it's a red corner or blue corner, fight back. And if he's not fighting back,
to that.
he's not responding, right? He's just covering up, then the fight is stopped.
Okay.
So that is what is a TKO.
Basically, when a fighter is not able to
intelligently
respond.
defending himself. Responding एक होता है. Responding में गिरने के बाद भी, a fighter starts, they try to improve position, या तो फिर, they try to block punches, better their positions to a more advantage position, या तो फिर reversal करेंगे. उन लोग कर रहे, they are still in their senses in the game. Right? सिर्फ कवर अप करके बस मार खाना is not intelligently defending. वो तो बंदा 3 मिनट तक ऐसे ही बैठ के 5 मिनट तक ऐसे ही बैठ के
he's lost there. He's lost in that.
Yeah. So he's either hit, he's impact. क्योंकि हमको referee, from a referee's perspective, हमारे आंखों में तो एक्सरे मशीन नहीं है. Where we are looking at a fighter and we know he's okay or not. क्योंकि हमारे साथ भी बहुत बार हुआ है कि हम लोग ने फाइट रोका है, फाइटर ने कहा मैं तो ठीक हूँ यार, मैं तो ठीक हूँ,
but he's not understanding that at that very moment, na?
So just covering up, whether it is up against the cage, whether it is on the ground, just covering up and taking shots, taking punches is not intelligent defending. So as long as a fighter is intelligently defending themselves, the ref will not jump in. The ref will warn you. And the ref will probably jump in and stop the fight.
Okay.
Because the ref's job is to protect you at all time as a fighter.
While we were researching and planning out for this podcast, right? So I had some videos which I wanted to take your reaction on. So we have the videos right now. I just want to take your reaction. So Ganesh, thanks. So yeah, this is the first one.
Aha!
This is, this guy, right?
Yeah. Right.
Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor.
Oh, I remember watching this fight.
The most highly anticipated.
You watched it live?
Yeah.
Jeez. I didn't.
On TV. Yes. I was watching it live.
Aldo looks like he's feeling the pressure of this moment. Green trunks for the Southpaw, the notorious Conor McGregor. Black trunks for the champion, Jose Aldo Jr. Conor relaxed, smiling.
Oh man. Some sniper striking.
I mean, that's crazy, right?
Totally.
That's quite crazy.
So that's a cross, okay? So it's Conor's a southpaw, right? And that's a cross.
So when he's generating this energy and that amount of impact, what amount of I wonder, the training he goes through all of that.
See, that's one punch. I don't know if you've heard the proverb, but I think it's Bruce Lee's. Right? I don't fear somebody who trains 10,000 techniques, but I fear that person who trains one technique 10,000 times.
Easy.
Right? So that's probably Connor's move. Like, you know, you see him in any of his training videos, he's always standing there, pop, throwing that cross, you know. And yeah, that's I remember
This guy, the second guy needs
I
some help
remember
out
this.
here.
Yeah, Aldo was out.
Wow, man, what a crazy fight that was, right? So the second fight that I've got for you is Masvidal versus Askren. You wanna see that? Let's see.
The fastest KO.
So before this was the fastest KO, the one that we just was, that was the fastest one, right?
No, this is the fastest KO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Building, and these guys just flapping gums at each other. Any chance they get. The fight clock is brought to you by Modelo.
And it's done!
Oh, way.
That's crazy.
Ah. Jeez. That flying knee. Masvidal is crazy,
That's
crazy. You should have seen the build up to this fight. So the build up to this fight was such that because so Masvidal is a striker primarily, and Ben Askren is a wrestler, right? So stylistically, they were opposite poles. Okay, North Pole, South Pole fighting.
That we can
Everybody wanted
clearly
to
see.
Everybody wanted to see what's going to happen, and my goodness, to finish in this fashion, crazy.
Oh man, crazy. How fast was that? That wasn't even a second, I think. Was it a second?
Crazy. No, I think it's under 5 seconds.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, it's under 5 seconds.
So the third one, I have one more video for you. We'll react to this one also. Okay. So this is basically Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Forced him to change stances. That left leg is destroyed.
Finally, in minute 25, Holloway shows some mortality.
Look at this. Holloway just told him, stand right here.
Whoa.
You see that? That's the last 1 second. That's the last 1 second. Okay, so quick background to this fight, right? Justin, this is a 5-round fight, 5 minutes, 5 rounds. That's 25 minutes of fighting. Okay, Justin Gaethje is winning the fight.
Okay.
Okay, he's winning the fight.
And we see what happens in the
And
last
Max
moment.
Holloway, so Max does this crazy thing of like the last 10 seconds, he calls people to the center of the octagon. Okay?
Okay.
So Max Holloway goes in the middle and he says like, let's throw down. And Justin Gaethje accepts.
Oh shit.
He comes there, last 10 seconds, you'll hear the clapper go, pop, 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 10 seconds, okay? And they start throwing. And the last second,
He knocks him
Justin
out.
gets caught. Pop!
So he does this every match.
Most matches.
And
Most matches. He just enjoys this.
if the other guy did not accept it, he was the winner.
Yeah, he would have won the fight.
Crazy.
Justin would have won the fight if he did not get knocked out in the last second. Just imagine, 24 minutes, 59 seconds.
And you
get
lose the
knocked out.
match.
Shoot. It's
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks. This was the reactions. Ganesh, can you please take it? Thank you.
Wow.
As we are Indians, right? And when it comes to MMA, the highest top tier thing is UFC. And when it comes to UFC, there have been two names which repeatedly come up. One is Anshul Jubilee and the second one is Pooja Tomar. So would you like to say something on that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as you rightly said, UFC and MMA go hand in hand because that is the father of all promotions right now. There are many other promotions, but yeah, they've really worked hard and brought MMA to where it is right now. The fastest growing sport on earth, MMA. And India is catching up. India is also getting into the same, trying to ride that same wave. We have great names coming up in MMA, great fighters coming up. आप कहीं पे भी जाओ, हर जिम में आपको दिखेगा MMA. Every gym is included MMA. So इतना market penetration हो चुका है MMA का. हर जिम के अंदर भाई MMA अगर नहीं है, it's sort of खालीपन है. So every gym is getting MMA in, and that is the market penetration that MMA has currently in India also. We have big names like Anshul Jubilee and Pooja Tomar, who are currently one in the UFC. There are names prior also, people who have gotten to the UFC, did not make it big. There's Bharat Kandare and a bunch of other fighters who have also fought, Indian fighters who have won in other promotions, like one championship. They are also big promotions, but not as big as the UFC, I'd say. But there are a lot of other fighters that whose names are still under the radar right now, because Anshul and Pooja have won the UFC fights, so they are on top of the radar. But there are so many fighters that are they're coming up. There's something called the road to UFC, right? There are so many fighters, so many Indian fighters that have made that cut. So they have got into the road to UFC. They are fighting over there, and they will soon, if they win their fights in the road to UFC, they will be on the UFC card very soon.
Yeah, I hope there will be more fighters from India in that scene, right?
Absolutely, we're all keeping our fingers crossed.
For the folks who are watching this and they want to start out into MMA, so you can answer this from an overall India perspective, or you could answer this from a Mumbai perspective, because that's where we live. So for the folks who want to start out into MMA, are there any particular places you would like to name where they can go?
Yeah, I'll keep this more Mumbai and our local area places for MMA gyms. I think if you're down Bandra, one of the leading gyms is Evolution Combat Sports Academy, run by head coach Jitendra Khare sir. He's my coach as well. Some of the leading fighters coming out from there, there are good guys fighting the amateur circuit, pro circuit, internationally. Some good guys coming out from that gym. Down Andheri, there's Dassault MMA. One of my teammates runs that gym, Rudransh Azad. He's a great guy, good coach, and it's a good gym to start off with. Down Kandivli, there's Fighter Combat. There's Fighter Combat Club run by Mr. Deepak Patil. That's a good gym to go down in Kandivli. Borivali side, there's Ultimate Fitness by the head coach is Chaitanya Gavali. He's a pro fighter, fought internationally and in the Indian circuit as well. Coming down Navi Mumbai, there's Fit and Fight Club, run by coach Sanjeevan Padwal, a very dear friend and a wonderful coach. He's got some crazy fighters coming out of his gym as well. Down in Thane side, there's coach Michael Pereira. His gym's name is MMA Warriors. So yeah, you guys can look up those gyms on Google, and if that's nearby you, you should definitely try it. Kids, women, working men, adults, MMA for fitness. You don't have to be an MMA fighter. MMA for fitness. It's a great thing. You learn self-defense. It's wonderful. Try the sport.
Yeah, MMA for fitness. That's nice.
Absolutely.
That's a nice thought right there. What I want to understand from you is what's WWE and what's UFC. What's the difference?
WWE is baspan ka pyar. Right? So WWE, everybody's been a fan of. Every child probably has seen WWE. They have their own favorite wrestlers. But yeah, coming from it, firstly from the sport perspective, WWE is scripted fighting, right? When the two fighters, the wrestlers, come into the ring, the winner's already decided. They have a time slot to fill to entertain the fighters, and then after that, koi apna finisher move marega, fight comes to an end, 1, 2, 3, and the winner is declared. The sport perspective of MMA, it's not scripted, right? Everything, all that planning and everything happens before the fight, right? कि हाँ ये stylistically सबसे अच्छा matchup है, ये इतना अच्छा matchup है, let's put them to fight. And once the cage door is shut, there's no script. Whoever's the best man on that day comes out the winner. So there's no script as such in MMA. Coming from the marketing perspective, one of UFC's biggest marketing move was to bring Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
At that time, Brock Lesnar was world champion in WWE, and they got him and worked to transition him from WWE to MMA. And that was one of UFC's biggest marketing moves. There was many people. There were many people also from the WWE that also transitioned to MMA.
Yes.
There's Bobby Lashley, CM Punk, probably a few. Batista, he also transitioned to MMA. But yeah, these were more like Brock Lesnar, I'd say, was one of the biggest marketing moves UFC made to bring that viewership, that audience from WWE to MMA.
Speaking of this, there are like tweets being out these days ki Logan Paul is going to fight Conor McGregor. What's your take on that? Do you think when there's a like crossover match, I'd say this is a crossover match, right? WWE and UFC fighter fighting between. So do you think these crossover fights are scripted?
The biggest thing is it's being done by the Ambani family. Right? That's the biggest conspiracy. Ki chal kya raha hai? Right? But if this happens, it's going to be huge. Right? Mike Tyson's fight with Jake.
Jake Paul, yeah.
Mike Tyson's fight with Jake Paul, huge. What viewership. Whether it is scripted or not, personal opinion, probably it's scripted.
Yeah, because there were moments where he could punch, but he did not. I mean, I have seen videos. I'm not a professional, right? So I cannot. But
exactly. So Mike Tyson's moves, like there were times where people broke the fight down and showed him like holding back, where his famous his combo is just okay. That's where he's going to hit the Mike Tyson combo, and he holds back.
Yeah, he's like
so. Yeah, so there was something about him biting the glove also. Yeah. That's something that he does usually in fights, and that is something that the commentator also called out. But yeah, there's a high probability of it being scripted. The sole reason being viewership. At the end of the day, it is business, and we need viewership. But these crossovers help the sport.
Yes,
100%. I mean, obviously we are on record, but these crossovers from boxing to MMA or WWE to MMA or MMA to boxing or any other sport, all these crossovers help the sport and both sides of the sport, right? Because there are boxing fans watching these fights, and now there are MMA fans watching this fight. The crossover between WWE and UFC. WWE fans now watching that same fight, and UFC fans watching the same fight.
Yes.
So these crossovers, if nothing, whether it is scripted or whether it is not, it is good for the sport.
All right. Thank you for coming, Andrew, sir. We'll do this sometime again.
Absolutely.
And maybe the next topic is going to be crypto. Let's
Hopefully,
see.
I have some other people in mind also. Finally, let me get some water.
Sure.
All right. Thank you so much, Dheeraj, for having me. It was really fun speaking about MMA and, just giving my 2 cents or 2 rupees into this big world of MMA, right? I hope the people watching this podcast are going to take back some learning from here that, MMA is a sport for all. Self-defense, fitness ke liye kuch bhi karo. It's good, and I hope your viewers enjoy. I hope you enjoyed having me on your podcast this time. All the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you.
God bless, man.
Thank you.